So there's a teacher shortage. Facing teacher shortage, Willmar Schools hired teachers from Nicaragua and the Philippines for school year. Willmar Public Schools will have 5 new teachers from other countries when the school year starts September 6. Once visas and teaching licenses are approved, 4 women from the Philippines and a man from Nicaragua will be teaching at Roosevelt and Kennedy elementary schools. All are experienced teachers who speak fluent English. They are expected to arrive in August. Filling teaching positions and other jobs in the district has been a struggle in recent years. Even with 5 international teachers coming, the district continues to have multiple openings for teachers, paraprofessionals, and other positions, according to Human Resources Director Liz Windingstad. Windingstad first saw a marketing email about hiring teachers from other countries, and she took the idea more seriously when the professional association offered a webinar about International Teach Alliance. I immediately reached out and said, "Let's talk," she said. Windingstad said she hopes it will benefit students to have teachers from another culture. They're going to be teaching the same subjects and the same curriculum, and they'll bring their flavor just like any other individual would, she said. I'm excited. It's something so new to have people from another country under an exchange program like this. ITA President Jason Hammond, a former school human resources officer, said in a telephone interview that he worked 5 years to develop the concept, and his company became a J1 visa sponsor 2 years ago. A J1 visa allows non-immigrants to participate in work or study exchange. Teachers are allowed to stay 3 years with an option to extend their stay for 2 more years before returning home for at least 2 years. Hammond said a teacher shortage led him to recruit at universities in northern Mexico. His efforts grew into ITA. The company started by placing 75 teachers in Arizona and California schools in its first year. This year, 400 teachers will work in 16 states. Willmar is the first Minnesota district to work with ITA, Hammond said. The teachers are thoroughly vetted. The company screens and interviews them before they are accepted. They must pass multiple criminal background checks to be accepted by ITA, to obtain visas, and to receive a state teaching license. After joining ITA's service, Windingstad was allowed to see teachers' information, including resumes and videos of interviews and of them teaching lessons. Roosevelt and Kennedy principals conducted interviews over Zoom. After the candidates were chosen and accepted the job offers, Windingstad started working on the paperwork. The process takes dedication on both sides, she said, and they have come across roadblocks that were aggravating but not insurmountable. The district needed a letter from the Minnesota Department of Education to certify that it was an accredited school and the teachers will have jobs when they arrive. The teachers contacted American embassies to be interviewed for their visas. College transcripts and fingerprints are needed to get a Minnesota teaching license. They have applied for Social Security cards, but will have to go to an office in person when they arrive in the United States. The teachers need to pay a variety of fees and foot the bill for their transportation to the United States and their living expenses while here. The teachers are required to maintain ties to their home countries, give community presentations about their home countries, and arrange communication between students in the two countries. One of the requirements is that they share their culture with their host communities to make connections between students between Willmar and their home communities. As licensed Minnesota teachers, they will be paid under the Education Willmar contract and will be treated like other employees of the district. Based on their experience, the international teachers will land on the 4th, 8th, and 10th steps of the Education Willmar pay scale. So this article goes on here for a while. I remember reading about a teacher from the Philippines who left. I mean, the way she was treated, by some of the kids she was teaching. She had to go back to the Philippines, and that it must have been really terrible for this woman to go back. Because if I go back in time over 15 years ago, I had a girlfriend there in the Philippines. She was a teacher. She taught in a Catholic school, and the pay was much, much less. And it's incredible, but I mean, when she told me how much she was paid, I couldn't believe it. Like a month, they pay by the month. It was something like $125 a month at the time. So this was around 2006. So this was like 16 years ago. Yeah. Imagine being paid $125. I mean, what can you do? And I said to her, teachers here in the United States, usually like in the summer, they usually go traveling, they see different places. Some of them go to different countries to see the world, have an experience. So when they come back, they can talk to the students and say, yeah, I've been to this place. I might have been to Madrid, Spain, or Barcelona, or Paris, and so forth. But if you're a teacher in the Philippines and you're making that kind of money, where can you really go? You can't really see the world. You can't really travel, which is not really right. Now, the teachers who teach in the government school tend to make a bit more money, but it's still like a few $100, like a month. Because her aunt was a teacher, and the aunt taught in the government school. And I think it was like maybe over $300 to $400 a month. Still, that's pittance. So, so these people who come in this article here, they will consider themselves lucky, I guess, But teaching in an American school is not easy because I grew up here in this country and I went to school, and it wasn't really easy. Some of the stuff, the students, the kind of behavior some of the students engage in, talking unnecessarily, distracting, the teacher trying to teach the lesson, and they're carrying on, joking, being facetious, stuff like that. That's not easy. You're dealing with people who come from a totally different culture. Somebody coming from the Philippines, they're coming from a culture where you're not going to be, carrying on in the class. These are people coming from a culture where they're going to call a teacher like sir, sir, or something like that, sir, or miss, yeah, sir. Whereas here you got some parents going to the school, at least here in New York where I am. Some parents go to the school with their kid to fight the teacher. Yeah, that happens sometimes. They used to have a number of that, and now they got a lot more security. So I don't know how it is, but I used to read stuff like that in the news. Parents go with their kid got into some issue, and the parent, in the old days you go in and you have a conference with the teacher, but no. Some parents go in and they want to fight the teachers, and a lot of these parents are young too. Not like older people. So they don't really think. So they go in there, instead of having a conference to sit down and talk, they want to beat up the teacher. So let's see how this goes. If these 5 women from the Philippines are going to last in the classroom in Minnesota, I think it's Minnesota. Yeah. Maybe my ex-girlfriend, she lives in Minnesota now. Maybe she can teach. Yeah. Being that they need teaching, maybe she can teach over there. Fill in the gap. You gotta ask yourself, why is it they aren't parents finding teachers? Yeah? Something is wrong, right? You can't find teachers in America to teach in your schools? Then, that's a reflection in society. Something is wrong.